The state of Rhode Island is a small state with a lot of character. The Ocean State claims a lot of unique and local charm. Whether it's historic Slater's Mill, Dell's Lemonade, the mansions of Newport, Autocrat Coffee Mill, Waterfire, or even Stuffies, Rhode Island has a lot going on in the little state. Now, let's talk about just how small it is. At around 1,200 square miles, it's only around a quarter the size of its neighbor, Connecticut, which is the third smallest state. In this relatively small state, however, there are widely varying ecosystems. In the west, the New England upland slopes down towards the lowlands, and eventually to the bay and ocean in the east and south. 20 minutes west of the capital can bring you to the woodlands, and 20 minutes south would land you somewhere in Narragansett Bay. So besides the ubiquitous Rhode Island red and the famous quahog clam, what sort of species can you find in Rhode Island? Which belong here, which do not, and which are we at risk of losing? Invasive species are one major problem that affects Rhode Island's natural environment and economy. When invasive species are introduced into an ecosystem in which they do not evolve from, their populations can have the potential to grow exponentially and dramatically interfere with the existing environment. Based on this graph, we can see that in the past 15 years, Rhode Island has introduced 33 new species. This is a staggering amount considering that in the 50-year time period from 1900 to 1950, only 10 new species were introduced. So what types of species are entering Rhode Island? As indicated in this pie chart from 2011, plants and fish are the primary contributors to this problem, comprising nearly 73% of Rhode Island's invasive species. The remaining 27% is made up of a collection of crustacean and mollusk species. You might ask, how are these species entering into Rhode Island? The answer, however, isn't quite so simple. There are varieties of ways in which a new species can find their way into the ocean state. For example, plant seeds snagged on mammals could spread a new species throughout an ecosystem. While these ways of spreading can be natural occurrences, in many cases, they're not. There are several examples in which humans have caused the spread. As indicated from the picture, Rhode Islanders have a tendency to load up their boats without properly cleaning them and removing any attached plants. The Rhode Island Department of Environmental Management has done a great deal to step in and prevent this problem from reoccurring. Well, to the best of their ability, I guess. There are also several examples of new insects dramatically affecting Rhode Island's ecosystem. For example, the hemlock woolly adelgid, a native of Japan and China, has caused up to a 90% mortality rate in eastern hemlock species, which provides habitat for about 90 species of birds and mammals. In this picture, you can see the devastation caused by these insects. While the woolly adelgid is found in many parts of the East Coast, the insect is said to be found in every part of the ocean state, creating a great deal of destruction for a wide range of existing species. There are some species that are specific to Rhode Island as well as its neighboring states. One such species of beetle that is found only in Connecticut and Rhode Island, the Reichenbachia insolita species, which we know little of other than that it's attracted to light and has been captured in mesic environments, such as bogs. Most biologists agree that there is little reason to expect an organism to be endemic to Rhode Island, since the state shares the same environments to other neighboring states. It would be hard to isolate certain populations to Rhode Island, since there aren't many natural borders to disperse them. However, there is an unusual case of the American burying beetle. It is distinct to its neighboring states, and is a federally protected endangered species. The explanation to this rare case is that the beetle is 3 millimeters in length and found in isolated environments, so it could be missed by collectors. The Plymouth rose gentian is found in Nova Scotia, Canada, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, North and South Carolina, but it is only known in 4 Rhode Island locations. It grows in wetland areas, with altering water levels and non-stagnant bodies of water. There are many organizations throughout Rhode Island that seek to preserve and protect the environment and its species. These organizations vary in their missions, but they are all determined to protect Rhode Island's plants and animals. Some of these organizations are the Block Island Conservancy and the State of Rhode Island Department of Environmental Management. Overall, the environment in Rhode Island is very similar to that in other states in the Northeast, such as Massachusetts, Connecticut, and New Hampshire. For this reason, species may be similar in these areas, but not found in other parts of the country. Although Rhode Island is the smallest state in America, it is still home to a number of endangered species. Some examples include the ringed bog haunter, American burying beetle, the piping plover, and the leatherback sea turtle. Let's take a look into a couple of them. The piping plover is a small, stocky shorebird found usually on a wide and flat, open sandy beaches, something that Rhode Island has a lot of. This little ball of fluff is facing some big challenges. Habitat loss and predation are the primary threat to the species. So what can you do to help? Educate yourself, join a local group, and volunteer to protect them. Luckily for the species, though, preservation has been a success. Over the past year, the plover nesting pairs have been increasing. Another endangered critter is the leather-backed sea turtle. It is the largest, deepest diving, and most migratory sea turtle. This marvelous animal can reach 4 to 8 feet in length and weigh up to 2,000 pounds. The primary threats to the leatherback sea turtle include loss of nesting habitat, marine pollution, and predation from native and non-native species. But don't worry, there is a lot being done to help the turtles. Nesting grounds and beach habitat protection are vital to helping this species thrive. And because this turtle is migratory, it's important to have long-term and international cooperation around preserving these turtles. So, to finish up, Rhode Island is host to many different species, ecosystems, and environments. Together, we can stop harmful and invasive species, protect those that need our help, and appreciate the local roadies in our backyards and beyond. So long, and thanks for watching.
There's a place off Ocean Avenue where I used to sit and talk with you. We were both 16 and it felt so right, sleeping all day.